Hi, everyone. Right, so this is the last of my three samples of the Phraya line of rums from Thailand, made by the Sangsong distillery just to the west of Bangkok. The other two were the original Elements rum that was issued for the first time in 2011, 2012. That one was a blend of 7 to 12 years old, 40%. Then there was the Elements 8-year-old, which was a standard full 8-year-old rum, again at 40%. And that was a blend again, although I don't know what the outturn is. And this one is simply called the deep matured gold rum. Again, I want to emphasize that I believe, although I wasn't told this in as many words when I tried this at the 2024 German Rum Festival, that this is a line of rums that the same distillery as makes the Sangsum line of rums that is mostly sold in Asia is using, as far as I'm concerned, to colonize the premium rum space. I've always had a problem with the word premium because I've never quite understood what it meant. Is it because of superior aging? Is it because of superior barrel management? Is it because it's limited? Is it because of its price? It's just one of those words that the more you go into it, the more puzzled you are as to what exactly it means. This is a rum that adheres to the same markers as the other two, which is to say that it is made from Thai sugarcane molasses, short fermentation time, multi-column distilled product, aged in ex-bourbon barrels for 7 to 12 years. What that means is that this isn't actually a 12-year-old rum. It is up to 12, right? So it's a blend of 7 to 12, which is perfectly fine. And they don't actually say it's a 12-year-old, which is really good. But they do make a big fuss about the deep matured part of things. And again, that's another set of words that mean absolutely nothing because it's never been defined. Even the website doesn't say what deep or matured means. It's a 7 to 12-year-old aged rum. Let's not be too quick to throw out the baby with the bathwater, though, right? Because once you nose it, it actually isn't too bad. I thought that the first two, each one was a little bit better than the one before it, and this one follows that trajectory quite nicely. Because although the production notes are the same, the aging for an extra period of time does make a difference, right? What I smell is that it is actually quite clean. It is quite crisp, a little bit dry. I don't think it's been doctored or sugared up or anything like that. That's always been an accusation that tends to be lurking around the edges of a lot of Asian rums. I don't think that's the case here. It did test clean. What I'm smelling is flambéed bananas, caramel, coffee grounds, toffee, salted dark chocolate, mocha, almonds. And in fact, the nuttiness is really quite nice here and is the clearest differentiator between the other two and this one, because here it takes a little bit more of a prominent note to it. There's some overripe fruit, some freshly grated carrots. I swear this is true. Coconut shavings, and there's a little bit of oaken tannins and leather, a little bit of smoke to round things off. It's actually not a bad nose at all. And I wish it was stronger than 40%, to be quite honest with you. 40% just seems to be a little bit too mild and milquetoast for something that could definitely be better. When you taste it, that soft roundness just continues, right? It is an easy drink. It is a perfect hot weather sundowner. There's no two ways about it, right? Now, that's not entirely a good thing because those who want a little bit more aggro in their drink, something with a little bit more oomph, aren't going to find it here. Again, you're listing actually closer to our Spanish style of rum making here. And it's got its leather, its smoke, its flambéed bananas, its brown sugar, crushed almonds, cashews, vanilla, cardamom, cloves, a little bit of tawny honey in there, which is really quite nice. And there's, again, that sense of orange peel in the background there, which is really quite helpful because it kind of like cuts the soft mellowness of these flavors that I've mentioned in a way that gives it a little bit more balance. And that's actually something that's really good. The finish, unfortunately, is its downfall because that is just like here, there, it's gone. And there isn't a whole lot to speak about it. It repeats many of the same notes that I've mentioned before. There's some squishy mangoes, there's the cardamom, there's the caramel, vanilla, leather, smoke, all a little bit of brine. That's it. But again, it doesn't last. It simply disappears, and it's like vaporware and disappears far too quick. Which is why I have a thing about the strength. Now, if they are going to, especially in today's world where we are used to stronger drinks issued by the independents just about every other week, and even some of the primary producers in Jamaica, Guyana, Barbados, and St. Lucia, and wherever else they're making rums, they have gone higher. They've gone to 42, 46, sometimes even higher than 50%. And I think that's a good thing because it allows that intensity of flavor and profile to take a front seat and actually showcase what they've managed to do with the distillation and the fermentation process, which isn't the case here, right? Now, perhaps the 40% is something to do with tax regulations in the local country. Japan has a serious thing with all their various hoops that you have to jump through regarding aging and strength and so on. And it's entirely possible that Thailand has the same thing. I'm not an expert on Thai law regarding spirits and beverages, and I didn't research that to do this essay. But at the end of the day, it could be stronger, and I think it should be, especially if what you're targeting is the export market for, let's face it, some very jaded connoisseurs who really know what they want and what they like, right? Which is not to say that people who like Spanish-style rums aren't going to love this. They absolutely are. I think this is really quite good. I think it costs about 55 to 60 euros at this point in time. It's been a while, though, but it is a decent rum from that perspective, right? I do have an opinion, though, which I want to wrap up this series of 3 on, and is that I'm not entirely sure who it's made for. Is it made for the Asian audience or the Western audience? North America or the greater world out there? Is it meant to showcase Sangsum and the premiumization of their brand as we see other companies trying to do? It's hard to say. They introduced, the first time I saw Sangsum and Phraya was around 2023, 2024 in the various rum festivals I was attending at that time, just after COVID. And, I haven't actually seen that much on social media or Reddit or any of the other main platforms about the rum. Other people have reviewed it. For example, Wes Bergen, and there's another guy, the rum drinker or something like that. I've got it in the show notes. And they both rated this thing 2 stars out of 5 or 4 stars out of 10, which is to say about 70 points on my scale. I think it's a little bit better than that because I try to take things like cultural factors and the place where it's made and the sort of traditions they have into account when I evaluate a rum. Because at the end of the day, it's not made for me, right? I've had too many rums and I'm too jaded in my palate to take anything at face value, and I know what I like and I know what I want. And this isn't quite up to snuff for that. On the other hand, I do know that other people will like it for precisely those reasons. Bottom line is, though, I think there should be better focus of the company as to where they're going to market this to. If they're going to make a premiumized, export-led brand of rums, then they should try to cater to the taste of those who live there. And they should beef up the strength a little bit, and they should try to work a little bit with lower plates of the column still so they can get something with a little bit more flavor and a little bit more oomph to it that will take on the big guns like Old Hampton, for example, as I mentioned in my previous review, right? How much am I going to score this? 82, 83 points maybe. That's way above what my friends in other places have scored this as, but I think it's a reasonable score for what it is because it is a decent enough rum. You are going to like it just for its softness and for its roundness and for the flavors that it does provide. And it is not a fail by any stretch of the imagination. It can't go below 80, I don't think. So I think about 82, 83 is just about right for it, which means that all 3 of these are very much going to be about the same. And then it really comes down to a differentiator of very faint complexity notes versus price. And I think the 8 is probably the better buy here for among the 3. But that doesn't mean that if you see this for between 50 and 60 euros that you shouldn't try and get it for yourselves. That's it for Phraya. That's it for Sangsum Distillery. And that's it for these 3. And that's it from me for today. Hope you enjoyed this. And we will talk again next time. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.